clearly heard. Clearly heard. Brant, this game is currently on is like 1 degree in Chicago. It's Chicago and LA, which LA is not used to playing in the snow like this.
Screw that.
So why would you put on there like feels like 1 degree? Why wouldn't you not just say 0? It's literally 0. So sorry, I got to check on your cousins, the Bears fans. See, I usually check in.
They're following them. Is the game live?
Yeah, I usually check in with them on game days. Last weekend they were in somebody's garage, like they're in a garage watching this game, but they still have like these thick coats and hat toboggans and stuff on. Like you could tell they were still fucking cold wherever they were at. I was like, that beats the stadium still. I usually check in with them on game days. Last weekend they were. I hear me, but I'm assuming we're all there. You guys ready to go?
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 380 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game. I got nothing. We didn't have any other setup. This was a quick setup for going into this episode. This is the Southeast premier video game podcast. That's all you need to know. You're in the right place. Don't think you stumbled in. Don't think you wandered around. You're in the right spot. You're in the place for games. We're those people. Tonight's show, Meta shutting down VR studios. Do we care about some of these studios? Do they have a insanely rich pedigree, possibly? Happy 35th to a very special hedgehog, ? There was an RE showcase. Someone's going to have to carry that because I have no clue in anything regarding Resident Evil or Resident Evil lore. And last but not least, we have your PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium games. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee.
What's up?
Brant, I want to thank you on this beautiful Sunday night for going easy on us with the news this week. This is a light news week.
Yes. Very easy on the news.
In the start of our year, the start of the year, our Lord 2026. It feels backwards for some reason. Brant, did you get snow this morning?
I did.
Okay.
At least 2.5, maybe 3 inches of snow out there.
I saw 0 of anything, so sorry, I'm assuming you're in the same boat. It was not.
That is correct.
It was not quite here for some reason. That other voice you heard, who I inquired about his precipitation accumulation, is none other than our resident lore master and soundboard mixer, Cesar Concepcion II. Cesar, welcome.
Hello.
Cesar could have used a snow day. That sounds like it would have been cool. Brent, did y'all get out there in it?
I walked out there a little bit.
Yeah, the dogs. I remember last year the dogs were like, what the fuck is this? We're wet, but we can't get away from it. It's not like usual. You don't have any outdoor...
It wasn't too bad.
You don't have any outdoor cats, right?
No.
So they don't... No cats are like, let us in. The shit sucks. Yeah, we had we're southeast of Atlanta, southwest of Atlanta, I guess. We're south of Atlanta. We're Southsiders. And there was pretty much a line, and people either got a decent amount of snow or got none. And Cesar and I are in the no category. Brant, did yours stick or is it already gone?
Oh, I mean it's stuck, but as soon as the sun came out, a little after 11, I mean it quickly started melting it away, and within a couple hours, yeah. If it wasn't in the shade, it's gone.
Yeah. Does not stick in those scenarios. All right, let's get into the news. It's sad news to start off with. First off, people are jobless. That sucks. Second off, these are some pretty talented groups here. This comes from Saruman Gamatsu. Meta shuts down Armature Studio, Sanzaru Games, and Twisted Pixel. I knew who Sanzaru Games was. I had to look up Armature Studio because I was like, hey, I remember that name. What did they do? Sal reports Meta will close Game Studios, Armature Studio, Sanzaru Games, and Twisted Pixel, the company confirmed to Gamatsu. The news comes following a Bloomberg report today that the company plans to cut more than 1,000 jobs from its Reality Labs business, which is the division that manages its virtual reality headsets and software. Twisted Pixel and Armature Studio were acquired by Meta in October 2022, and Sanzaru Games was acquired back in February 2020. I remember that announcement. I'm pretty sure we talked about that on this show. Yeah. Sanzaru going to Meta and it being like, why? Why is this happening? There's a bullshit statement from Meta regarding... Man, my browser's bombing. Shifting some of our investment towards wearables, blah, 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 blah. Gamers not familiar with the VR-verse will know Sanzaru Games as the developer of Sly Cooper Trilogy for the PS3. And that kind of showed their chops with that hardware and their programming ability. And they were rewarded with Sly. Did they call that Sly 4? Was it just Sly Cooper Thieves in Time?
Thieves in Time, yeah.
Thieves in Time.
It was just Thieves in Time. It didn't have a number.
Yep,
they also did... it was just on here. The Secret Agent Clank.
That's right. They cut their teeth with some of the PSP stuff, kind of like Ben Studio kind of developed from there, and Ready at Dawn. I think Ready at Dawn's a big example. Wasn't Ready at Dawn acquired by Meta too? Didn't they turn into a fucking VR studio? Yeah. Oh my god. We bitch and moan.
They were already closed down.
They've been closed down.
We bitch and moan week after week about the lack of AA quality and the lack of like first party turnout and stuff like this, and these studios just get gobbled up in whatever the current thing is and disposed of, like these two here. Sanzaru is part of Oculus Studios. Armature, I had to look up, and I don't recall. They did a lot of ports of. It was like
They helped do that virtual reality port of Resident Evil 4.
Yes.
And they did ReCore as well.
Yep.
And it's Retro Game Studio people, so it's the people that made Metroid Prime. I believe like 2 and 3 specifically. Oh, they did that 2D Batman Arkham games too. Arkham Origins Blackgate, which came out on Vita and
3DS
and 3DS. That's right. Armature's first game was porting Metal Gear Solid HD Collection to the PlayStation Vita. They also developed Injustice: Gods Among Us for PlayStation Vita. Brant, they were going to port Bloodstained Ritual of the Night to the PlayStation Vita and the Wii U. However,
did not work out for them.
Nope, we know that didn't happen. That Metal Gear, that Resident Evil 4 VR is really, really good for the Quest.
Mm-hmm.
I played a couple hours of that, and it's really great. It was one of the first ones where I felt like you were reloading, like they make you reach down to your belt and like reload the pistol, Leon's pistol and stuff. It had an extra level of immersion in there.
I imagine it would be comparable to what me and Brant played on Resident Evil Village, where I had to load each round individually in my gun.
Yeah, y'all talked about that.
Yeah.
On PSVR too, so.
You had to reach down to your belt for those things?
Annoying. Yeah, or behind your back and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, reach back for the weapon? Yeah, you guys talked about that.
Yeah.
Best of luck to those affected by this. Oh, Asgard's Wrath.
Last but not least, Twisted Pixel too.
Yeah, so I didn't read up on them, Brant. What did they work on?
Honestly, the latest thing that Meta has shown off, which was Marvel's Deadpool VR. But they're better known for some of their work on the Xbox 360 with releases like Splosion Man and Missplosion Man.
Oh, I see that. Oh, Gunstringer for the
game.
what's that, Cesar?
not the Loco racing game. They have Loco Cycle or whatever it's called.
Loco Cycle,
Yeah.
yeah. I see Gunstringer on
It's like
there
their
too,
final
a
game.
Connect game.
It's like their
Local
final
Cycle
game when they were
was.
owned by Microsoft.
Hmm.
Then they let them go.
Yeah, Deadpool VR. That's kind of a. Is that one out yet?
Yes,
Okay.
came out in,
I
last
couldn't
year,
remember if
November.
it had released.
Yeah. I feel like I'm out of the VR cycle a little bit. Unless I see it's like I'm keeping up with PlayStation VR 2 news, and that's about it.
It's pretty sparse news.
Tumbleweeds, right? It's not even like PlayStation Plus titles anymore.
I was about to say the next bit of news you'll probably hear for PSVR 2 is, hey, we're pulling support for PSVR 2 because we pretty much already have.
It's now $100. So Twisted Pixel was in Austin, Texas. Is that where these other studios were? Something feels kind of strange here. Because I know Retro Studios is in Austin. Okay, Sanzaru was in Foster City, California. So it's not like a regional thing. See where Armature was at. 2 minutes ago, you searched for this. Austin, Texas, also. So 2 in Austin, 1 in California. But, you know, Austin's kind of a hotbed for tech and development and stuff. Does Retro still have that studio there? I know they came in and bailed out Metroid Prime 4. Brand, did you ever read that article?
I mean, there's a reason.
Go ahead.
There's a reason why that Texas is a hot spot, because it's tax, no state tax.
Mm-hmm.
Good spot to be. Brad, did you read that article Cesar sent us about the Metroid Prime 4 development? Like kind of how it was a good read. It was a good read, especially translated as it was. There were some wild concepts out there, and then it's like Retro came in and propped up what that game was and tried to make it into something, and they caved to like current trends and were trying to follow up Breath of the Wild design strategies because that had been hugely successful, and it was all over the place. I think it concluded with, we want to see what Retro Studios can do now.
Yeah.
I think that one was successful enough to warrant another title. I mean, you guys, it didn't make y'all's Game of the Year list. But I know you enjoyed your time with it, both of you.
Oh, yeah.
It was good until the end.
Yeah, it really was just that ending kind of.
Didn't stick the landing. Yeah. Friend of the show, Michael, was telling me the same thing. All right. 35 years, not of friend of the show, Mark's Night, but of Sonic the Hedgehog. There's a 35th anniversary trailer, which celebrates the debut of Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis in June 21st, 1991. This comes from Saurumano Gamatsu. What is he saying in this? Just that they're going to celebrate the 35th anniversary, and there's going to be merch and partnerships and collectibles and fan experiences.
Concerts.
Sonic concerts.
More games. It's always concerts. It's always concerts. Because they were just talking about the concert for the Chrono Trigger anniversary as well. So there's a lot of stuff that has anniversaries. I know I sent y'all a list of some very notable anniversaries this year.
Chrono Trigger is on its 30th, right?
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah, 40th is like Zelda, Metroid, Dragon Quest. There's a whole bunch of Castlevania, I think, is in that list for the 40th this year. We've already. What do you guys want from a Sonic 35th? We've already got Sonic Origins Collection.
I don't know. This video was pretty neat.
What was in it? I didn't see this trailer.
It's at the bottom if you get some time. I think it's just like a couple minutes long.
Okay.
But it's a nice little trailer paying homage. And I mean, more Sonic's not a bad thing. As long as it's not the bad Sonics, right?
I mean,
not the Werehogs.
I heard that game was pretty good, except the Werehog stuff was kind of dumb. The movies are good. Do we get a movie or a TV show tie-in announcement?
Possibly.
Yeah, this trailer is 1 minute 17 seconds. I'm knocking it out with you, Grant. Countless friendships. Countless adventures. Yeah, on this last Steam sale, I finally got Sonic Origins on Steam, so I might give that a go. I watched Cesar. I think he streamed that, but I don't think we ended up copying it down to YouTube or anything. But he beat the first Sonic the Hedgehog on stream before the.
All I remember was Sonic drowning.
Yeah, before the Sonic drowning glitch got fixed. Infinite Worlds. This just seems to be a celebration of Sonic. I'm perfectly fine with this.
Yeah.
The capture, the thumbnail right on the trailer is the newer Sonic, which I less associate with, but maybe that's a generational thing. Like the super sleek like Sonic Adventure Sonic. My Sonic is like the chunky Sega Genesis, not super hyped up high shoes, like the basic style shoes. But this is very cool. I can't believe Sonic's 35 years old though.
He's been around a long time. I looked it up, and hedgehogs are only supposed to live in the wild like 3 to 8 years. So he's doing doing good.
Are you saying this is a reanimated hedgehog, Brant?
Genetically modified hedgehog.
Oh, to live over 4 times his lifespan.
Yep, he's got a doctor after him too.
Yes, he does. Come back here. It's time for your colonoscopy. If you give a hedgehog a colonoscopy, he's going to want some rings.
Oh, Lord.
Happy 35th
Might
to
need
Sonic.
A colonoscopy after eating all that Sonic.
Hey, they're all closing. Are the ones near you
What?
closing?
Really?
Yeah, the two specific Sonic restaurants that I know of are closed within like 3 days of each other.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, I guess I can take the next story. I did watch this. They had a Resident Evil Requiem showcase. I guess it was maybe 13, 14 minutes. It wasn't very long. And really didn't I went over some stuff, so I'll just get into it here. They showed off some more gameplay. I'm not really going to get too much into that. They, showed a little bit of Grace, and her gameplay focus is more around like sneaking and resource management and things like that. She still has a weapon, but she's definitely more stealthy. They showed that she has a special weapon that they call the Requiem. It's like this giant revolver thing, and you can craft bullets and different things using infected blood from the zombies and take them out. But there again, you have to be creative and actually kill them to collect some of those resources. So, but then the opposite, they have the high octane action of Leon, where he's roundhousing, kicking these enemies and grabbing them and throwing them into desks and things and just crushing their heads in. And he focuses a lot
typical
on gunplay,
Leon action, and
some melee. They show he has, instead of a knife, he has like a hatchet for parrying and things now. So
how does that
and
work?
Then
is it just like is it literally parrying? Like a lot of games have adopted that system?
No. Like how in the RE4 remake, you could parry with the knife.
With the knife, yeah.
But I'm sure just like in that one, that hatchet will it probably has some kind of durability tied to it. So
they wear down. You have to find other ones.
Yeah. They went over the fact that there's some different difficulty choices, where you'll have like multiple difficulties to choose from, and you can do like either a casual, and that even includes some aim assist that can be toggled, plus more for giving player health and enemy durability. There's a standard/classic, which requires ink ribbons, like in the old days, if you wanted to save.
That's my Resident Evil.
And just a little bit more leaning toward that resource management area of the Resident Evil franchise. They did also say that it's going to have a release with GeForce Now, the cloud gaming service, and it will be you'll be able to stream it the same day as the game's release on all the other platforms. They talked a lot about how they're trying to optimize this game to run on all sorts of different PC hardware, and really get it to where anybody that wants to play this game will be able to play this game. Then they went into collaborations. There's a couple different collaborations here where they showed off that both Grace and Leon are wearing these special Hamilton timepieces, and you can get their you could actually buy these. They're selling them in limited quantities, and they're over $1,000 each.
Holy shit!
Is that
a big brand? I don't think I've heard of Hamilton.
I hadn't either, but I mean the watches look very nice, upscaled watches, but they'll be out for purchase February 27th, the same day as the game launches. Okay. And they're extremely limited to only 2,000 units available worldwide. And then they also went over the fact that Leon is driving a Porsche in this game.
Okay.
And they collaborated with Porsche on the 3D modeling and designing this. And then they'll also have can't remember if they said they'd have I don't see anything about them actually having a specialized Porsche that cool, you could buy the same day. Really
I like those kind of crossovers. I think that's really cool because you're gonna get a crazy awesome render in the game, right? It's gonna be up to their spec and approved, and
yeah,
kind of like they go through with like Gran Turismo and Forza and all that with those licensing. They're not gonna let you slap that brand name on some boxy ass looking bootleg thing. It's got to be quality tied to it. I like that sort of crossover stuff.
It's cool to see, and they're like, this iconic character needs an iconic car, so. But also,
we gave
like
him
you
James
just
Bond's Aston Martin. Was it DB5? Is that model of Aston Martin?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, that's not his classic. That's not his iconic car. That's someone else's.
Like you says, eventually licensing may be an issue down the line where, is this game going to be somehow in, 5, 6, 10 plus years, them going, oh, the license expired, so now we've either got to pull the game from the online sales, or we got to replace the whole asset, or
you're driving a Porsche when the gold edition comes out in 6 years. You're driving a Porsche. That GeForce integration, is that not a common thing where games come to GeForce Now immediately? I'm assuming.
I don't know.
I'm assuming not if they're pointing that out. I'm not a subscriber to that service.
Messed a lot. Yeah, I've not messed a lot with GeForce Now. They did show off some 1/6 scale models, figures of both Grace and Leon that are either standalone or you can like combine them together, and they showed off that they can also I guess their bases and everything can connect to some of the other Resident Evil figures that they've come out with. They're celebrating the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil with a special Resident Evil Symphony.
Oh, more concerts.
Yep.
This is the concert announcement podcast. We should have put that in the preamble.
Japan, North America, Europe, later this year. And then, of course, they went again over the editions, how there's like a a standard and a deluxe. With the the deluxe edition, you get a pack of 5 costumes, 4 weapon skins, 2 screen filters, 2 charms, and more. And there's a pre-order bonus where Grace gets a special quote-unquote apocalypse costume.
Okay.
And then they mentioned the Switch ports again, where the day this game releases, you'll also have the gold edition of both 7 and Village available.
For the Switch 2, right?
Yes, Switch 2.
These aren't getting a Switch. Switch had like the cloud versions of these, if I remember right. Kind of like Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, of 7.
7 maybe, not Village.
I don't think I don't ever think they got Village.
Okay.
There was some kind of like
Came out as a cloud base on
Yeah.
Switch.
Village did as well.
It did?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And these are going to be key cards, if I remember right. Like there's a SKU that has all 3 of them together, which is really cool. I mean,
They're all key cards. Yep.
Yeah, they're coming to it. So,
If you're planning to buy this on the Epic Game Store, you get a special Fortnite item that's Resident Evil themed. And then of course the Switch 2 Pro controller that's themed for Resident Evil, as well as the amiibo, and then last but not least, of course, a steelbook.
oh god, here we go. I liked all these announcements until the stupid steelbook stuff.
The one thing that wasn't in there that I wish was in there, no demo. But, it is what it is. I'm still buying the game either way, day one.
There have been demos recently, haven't there?
It would be nice to get a demo at least like by the end of the month, right before it comes out. Try it like, a week or so.
Maybe they stealth drop
before it comes out.
Yeah. I've got to talk later, but I got like 5 hours in that Dragon Quest 7 demo. The progress carries over to the main game. It's like the best. That's like the best sampler you can get for somebody to get going. I love it.
Square always does that.
Yep.
They do pretty big demos, and
yeah,
it always carries over.
I think we all were interested in Final Fantasy 16, but when they did that prologue style demo for that one, and we all gave that a shot, it was only like an hour and a half, but it kind of set the tone and gave you an example of the boss battles and just kind of immersed you in that world, and it left so many questions, and you were like, I got to see where this goes. It was you're right, Brand. They did a great job at setting those up. Trials of Mana was another big one. That was a real meaty demo.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ooh, that's a lot of Resident Evil stuff. Jeez. And you guys are still super excited, right? Resident Evil check.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are excited. 30th anniversary for Resident Evil. That also seems like it has flown by. Curious about the GeForce Now thing and what those benefits and stuff are. Research for another day. PlayStation Plus game catalog titles for January. And this is for premium and extra, right? These are the premium and extra tier games.
Correct.
We've already had Essential, which was Core Keeper, Disney's Epic Mickey Rebrushed. What was the third one? They were all good games.
Need for Speed Unbound,
Need for Speed Unbound, that's right. Which I think the art style for that one is kind of the seller. Hey, Brent, you caught up on your Resident Evil games? That's how I know you've played them all. If not, good news for January. What's that?
I beat them all but 6.
Beat them all but 6. I don't see that immediately here, but maybe it's later in the news. For PlayStation Plus and Premium game catalog titles, you're going to get Resident Evil Village for PS5 and PS4. That is 8. Or do people stick with 8 as the naming convention, or do they just call it Village? Do they call it Biohazard? How does that... Is this one going to eventually be 9 or Requiem? Village. It's just Village?
It's the same thing. The 9 is inside the title, Requiem. It's the same thing for Village. The 8's inside the title, Village. That's all they're doing with it.
I mean, it's great how they do that, but is that what it's considered? Like, I think I've heard Brant say Village a couple times. Like, yeah, Village was like that, so that's the naming convention. Like a Dragon, that's how it works. You're going to get Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth for PS5 and PS4. Expeditions, a Mud Runner game. This does not look like MotorStorm. My mind blinked for a second. A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead for PS5. Darkest Dungeon for PS5 and PS4. The Exit 8 for PS5 and PS4. Art of Rally for PS5 and PS4. I've heard good things about Art of Rally. Cesar, did you play this one and talk about it on the show? I feel like somebody.
It's been out for a while.
Yeah, I feel like somebody's played this one, Art of Rally.
But it would have been a long time ago.
Yeah, it has been out for a minute. Maybe one of us messed around with it on Steam at some point. A little to the left for PS5 and PS4, and then for PlayStation Plus Premium, here we go. Ridge Racer, the PS1 classic. Ridge Racer. Say it again, Brant.
Ridge Racer.
Yes, there he did. He said it again.
On.
Oh,
hold up the PSP when we do it.
He's reaching for his copy of Days Gone. Yeah. It's like Kaz Hirai right here in your ears, ladies and gentlemen. This kind of got overshadowed. I don't want to make it sound like it's not a big deal. This is a great video game, but kind of got overshadowed by that release earlier this year of the, what do they call those? The arcade archives? Where we got like a full arcade version of this. It's not the PlayStation 1, like half frame rate version.
Yeah. Which at the time it was a decent port. It was.
Yeah.
But that true arcade port is nice.
So Ridge Racer Type 4 came with another disc that was Ridge Racer like enhanced, and it was the 60 frames per second Ridge Racer. I wonder if this is the one that's going to come to this service. I don't see any details in here anywhere or when these are coming out, but that might be worth looking into to see which version.
Find out until it actually releases.
Yeah. And people let us know. Internet sleuths will immediately let us know which version is out there. I know the likes of like Digital Foundry will be all over that. That'll be cool. What would be really cool is if you could pop a CD-ROM into your PS5 and put your own soundtrack in there like you could the original Ridge Racer for PlayStation 1.
If only your PS5 can read CDs.
Yeah, PS5 won't read CDs.
Doesn't even read CD-ROMs.
Unless you put music onto a flash drive. That is the only way people have gotten around that.
Yeah, but then that's just what files does it play from the CD-ROM? Is it playing FLAC files?
I don't know that. But I saw somebody try to go down that rabbit hole, and they tried a USB CD drive and all this shit, and then they eventually got a.
That's desperation.
Well, actually, I think it was a special, like knockoff USB CD drive, but that it specifically when they plugged it in, it came up as an external drive, and he could pull up the disc, and it would just play the tracks off of it.
I see what you're saying.
If I remember correctly.
Not copying like the files from a CD-ROM to a USB drive, but using an external CD-ROM drive via USB.
But it was a very specific one too, because he like tried it with other ones and they didn't work.
Interesting. So they have the drive. Sony has put the drivers for one specific USB CD-ROM drive on the PlayStation 5.
I guess.
Brand, if you want to play CDs on PlayStation, we have a product for you. It's called PlayStation 2. or PlayStation 3. A famous Don Matrick callback. All right, is that it for news?
That's it.
He did it. That was a quick news section. Brant, once again, thank you for having mercy on our souls. News is kind of light. Like, you hate to lead with studio closures. That's never fun, but those are talented people, and hopefully they land on their feet and can go somewhere. And the PlayStation service stuff is always good updates, and I guess we'll get a Megan Spur update next week. I'm gonna start with games acquired for like games played section because it's fresh on my mind. I went thrifting today. Cesar, thank you for going ahead to every place I went and taking copies of the TV show 24 and leaving them at every single place I went to. Had at least 2 copies of 24 season 1, the one I'm missing disc 1 from. I bought one. I got one for $6. The first stop, this is the third stop I went to, I guess. For a long time, the NCAA football games weren't available anywhere, and the last one they made was NCAA 14, so I had that one. A stop that I went to had college football 12 and 13, so I got those for $5 a piece to kind of fill in the collection. And then we've been talking about how garbage a GameStop has turned into recently, and I happened to be near one, an open one, and I was like, okay, let's do this. I fucking hate this place. Let's go in here. Let's do this. And I have to admit, this one feels like a game store of back in the day. They're not covered in T-shirts and Funko Pops and all sorts of stuff.
Really?
They had Wii games, they had Wii U games, they had PS3 games, 360, DS. I almost got Meteos for DS. That was one of the ones I was actually considering at the time.
That must be a specific retro store.
I guess it is.
Most of them are not going to have that.
The manager was like super enthusiastic, like they were 25, 30 years ago. He's telling me he's got a sealed PS3 backwards compatible system, and he checked one of these games as a PS2 game. He's like, do you have a PS2? I've got a backwards compatible PS3, and that plays these games just fine. But he did announce, I was just kind of looking around at stuff. I got a bunch of random stuff. He said he was telling somebody else they're doing that pre-owned sale. Brant, you might want to check your local locations. If it's $9.99 and under, they're 4 for $20. If it's $19.99 and under, they're 4 for $40, I guess is what it is, what that sale is.
Wow.
So I just grabbed some games under $10 that weren't on the shelf. One of them is Lethal Skies 2 for PS2. It's still, for some reason, fun to me to buy PS2 games in these times. And these all fell for that 4 for $20. So I got it. And then I had a $5 credit thing. So it was like 15 something dollars. The Sims 3 Pets for PS3. You play as the pet, apparently, which I didn't know was the premise behind the game. I know. A 3D title for the PS3. I didn't have this one. This is the Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunters. And it's a 3D title, so that's up my alley as well. This is made by Double Helix Games and Image Nation from Abu Dhabi. Maybe some Saudi investment. But this is the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. And last but not least, for your Nintendo Wii U is Disney's Planes. I don't know. I could see this being super expensive down the road for no reason. Oh, but he was, man, this guy was like super enthusiastic telling me how to take care of my discs and stuff. And he's like, he's rubbing the back of the Blu-ray ROMs with a rag. And he's like, this will mess up your lasers if you don't clean the disc. I'm like, please just put the game in the case, man. It's a Blu-ray ROM. I know it's got coding, special coding and stuff on there. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about that. But I did also get my copy of season 1 of 24, and one of the places I went to had season 5, which will be the next season I need. So I went ahead and grabbed that for $5.
There you go.
But there was a copy of 24 season 1 at each stop that I made, which was crazy. I played some more Dragon Quest VII. That demo is quite lengthy. I finished the first, I thought it was done. I'm still in the middle, apparently, of like the first vignette. So you get fragments of different memories, it seems, and you are bouncing between timelines. So I think both of you guys are going to pick this game up. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. I do remember, it's funny as I'm going through this, and it's like, I remember this on 3DS. Like, it didn't look like this. It didn't play exactly like this. But I remember these story beats, and I remember how this, I remember a character, but I don't remember what happens. And then when it occurs, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what happened there. But it's just, the storytelling is really, really well done. It's one, you guys have been playing RPGs as long as I have. Some NPCs you don't want to talk to. You kind of want to just skip to the next thing. This game really rewards every conversation with every NPC. It seems like they always have something to add to the world building and the lore and pointing you in directions of characters and stuff. What's weird with Dragon Quest, and they've never really hit, I've played more of this one than any of them, I guess, but they're known for having characters they look the same in every village. So you go to a village and they'll have like the guy with the mask and the horns and the leather suit, and there's like an old guy that's like stooped over. There's these they're just, I guess they're Dragon Quest people. Like there's the Playboy bunny girls. They have the bunny hats and fishnet stockings and the one suit body piece. Like they're in every Dragon Quest game, and they're scattered about in these villages and stuff. These first couple places that I've been to, but they're not main characters. They're just kind of filler, but they seem to add to the lore just in stuff that they talk about and things that they'll say. Like you help out this first village in a way that it reflects in two different places in the game, and they'll tell you different things based off of whether you're in the beginning of that quest or afterwards. And it's just really, really well done. I played an optional boss like early on before I finished that first part of that first vignette, and he totally kicked my shit in. Like it was a game over. I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to fight this thing yet. I guess I'll come back to it. And by the time I had beaten that story and stuff, I had enough options between the characters to like buff defense and add up elemental magic attacks and things like that I took him out. And it was a decent battle, but I was never like using, I don't even know what the Phoenix Down equivalent is in this game, but I was never using Phoenix Downs or anything like that. I've got a good system of like a tank and a healer and a magic caster, and it's good. It's so much fun. It adds that element in role-playing, like turn-based role-playing games. And I don't know who's the first to do this, but where you like, before you go into a battle, you strike the enemy. Like you have an action on the map to strike the enemy and get some extra damage before you go into the battle. And that just
like a first strike feature.
It's great. And it adds so much to just like going the flow of it and kind of an extra timing on what could be. I believe in the PS1 version of this, they were random battles. And then you could see them in the 3DS one. And there's still some random encounters in this game. It's not 100% that you can see them on the map. Like I just got a ship and I'm kind of steering around the ship. Like they're telling me where to go, but I want to explore a little bit. I'll get into random encounters with the ship and it'll just, and I go into the battle. It's like, all right, nothing was there, but here we go. It's good. I talk about a lot in game design. Is the world fun to move around in when you're not doing the 15 seconds of Halo, or you're not in a battle using the battle system and interacting with the characters? Is that other in between a lot of fun, and is really good in this. It's awesome. It's well paced. I don't feel like I'm wasting my time on anything, and I can never find a good stopping place, right? That's a sign of a good game. Like, man, I want to keep going. I just saved, but I want to see where this goes because I know where I need to go next and who I need to talk to, and it's awesome. I was telling Brant yesterday, I picked this up on Green Man Gaming. They've got their XP discount, and I think it's $47.99. So it's like $50 with tax, which is like a $10 discount. And it runs flawlessly on Steam Deck at max settings, except for resolution. You want the resolution at medium, and then you're totally good, which is probably what the Steam Deck needs anyways. The other game I've spent time on is Final Fantasy X. I talked about going through Macalania Forest last week. I got to the temple, and the Maester, who's kind of been like you didn't know if he was a good guy or bad guy, unveiled himself fully as the bad guy. And the party defeated him. And Auron was telling Yuna to send him, which when a summoner sends the person's soul, they go to the far plane, and they carted him off, and she didn't do that, so he's gonna come back at some point. I know he's the big baddie, so he's coming back at some point. The temple kind of crumbled. We're enemies of the state now because we've defied like their religious leader. There's a lot of religious, I wouldn't even say undertones. This is in a lot of JRPGs you end up fighting God, right? So this is very on par with those type of story beats. But the world kind of crumbled, and we ended up having to fight our way back to the top, and then I'm in a desert, and then the desert leads to the Albed's homeworld, and Titus then finds out that the summoner at the end of the pilgrimage, which is what they've all been on for these, I think I played 35 hours so far, the summoner dies at the end of it, and he was not aware of this. So he is extremely distraught. He's mad at everybody for not telling him that this is what happens. I guess you could kind of put yourself in those shoes. Like, you let me get invested in this person and go along in this journey, and you left out a key part of what happens at the end of this. So they focus on that. I was telling Brant because we got on a call last night, and I had been. It was like 45 minutes of cutscenes, and this is part of it. And I'm like, please let me just get to a save spot. I need to get somewhere to save, so my PS2's not sitting there for 2.5 hours while we record or play games or whatever. But it's very good. I'm loving the hell out of this. We took off. We left the Albed homeworld, and we're in an airship. And I saved right as soon as I got in that airship. I was like, I got to get out of here. I can't keep playing this. So we'll kind of see where this goes. Yuna's still missing. She's going to turn up at some point. The Albed kidnapped her. Turns out the Albed were kidnapping all the summoners, so they didn't have to complete the trip, so they didn't get murdered. So there's still plenty of storylines to play out there. And then Brant and I got on with friend of the show Buish last night and played some Battlefield. Brant, this was your first RadSec rounds of diminishing returns. I think our best finish was 5th.
Yeah.
Which was not a bad finish. We kind of just got
terrible.
Outpositioned. And once again,
somebody that Call of Duty jumped around a corner and around.
Yeah, I saw that because I was already dead and I was watching Brant's view, and somebody just like did the Call of Duty bunny hopping around the corner and killed Brant. And I was like, oh, are we back to this again? But we had a lot of fun moments and shootouts, and we had some wins, mostly losses, and we had a lot of randos. We always had a 4th because we were playing quads. So we always had a 4th rando, and whatever hijinks come from that with some crazy names, we end up calling them a different name every time we had one of those randos. But it was fun. It was just fun to hang out and run around and shoot, and it was just good. It was a good time. I want to play the regular like Conquest Battlefield and stuff again, mix up. But it's cool that RadSec like updates or whatever in the background. Nobody yet has run into that Battlefield or that Call of Duty trope of I can't play, guys. It's 110 gigs. I have to download right now, and
like have to update it.
Yeah, whenever we check, they're ready to go.
Oh, it's got another update.
It seems like there's plenty of either just solid builds or they don't update as often, or I don't know what it is, but it just seems to be available when we all want to play, so it just works. I think that's it for me over the past week. Played some Dragon Quest VII Reimagined demo, Final Fantasy X on the PS2, and Battlefield 6 on the PlayStation 5.
Me, I got nothing to talk about. A lot of stuff I started and walked away and never came back to. I've been busy, so
tinkering
shows me
times.
Online was literally me walking away and forgetting that I had it on to begin with. So I'll pass it on to Brant.
I'll start off with some games acquired. I got some limited run that came in
at last. How overdue were these?
System Shock 2. They weren't too bad. I know Cesar probably got the same. I know we've bitched about Rocket Games in the past, but we got another Rocket Games update about our Croc physical stuff, and it's hopefully going to be soon-ish on that is the update. And they're sorry for doing pre-orders before the final build of the game was ready. So
they just jumped the gun, or they
pretty much is what they said. They were like, we've only done like these. They listed the games. They're like, we did these other games before, but all of those games final builds were already done and ready before we started taking pre-orders. So, it's kind of on us that, we didn't know that they were doing, the platinum edition update. And then we wanted to make sure all of that content was there. So that pushed our production out. And so it was, it is what it is. I'd probably, if Rocket Games comes up again, I'd be a little bit more hesitant, but I don't know. And then 2 more. These are Switch titles that I got. For Cesar here. our Bubsy.
Oh, he's a Bubsy
Perfect.
supporter.
In the perfect collection here.
What all did that come out for?
I think it was on everything. I don't remember if they. I think they did an Xbox release for that as well. But I know it's on. I know it's on PS5. I know it's on Switch.
And PC.
And PC. And then the Shantae Advance Risky's Revolution. This is the Game Boy Advanced game. I had got the physical Game Boy Advance game, but I also got the physical Switch edition of this game as well. Because I am definitely a Shantae fan. Those games are awesome.
Do you have all of them now? You mentioned a couple weeks ago you were trying to knock out all the ones available on more modern platforms.
I think I'm only missing one for the Switch, but it doesn't matter too much. That game is like $200 to $300 on its own for some reason. And it is the game that came out on 2 generations ago hardware. So I actually have that game for 3DS.
Okay.
So, and
you have access to it.
I might have it on via like Games with Gold too when they were doing those. So I think that was one of the games they gave away with Games of Gold.
They did give us a bunch of those in that series, didn't they? I remember it was like every month it was one of those. I guess they partnered with WayForward or something for a few months in a row.
And as of games I'm playing, I jumped back into my Metroid Prime 2 game. Tried to take on that boss that gave me some issue. It beat me again. I said, screw this. And then jumped back into it a few days later and had like hardly any difficulty at all. I have no idea. The other time, it's this alpha creature. You're in the water. You get the gravity boost right before you fight it, and it's this thing that literally, like, its mouth, it only opens its mouth when it's swimming towards you, and that's its only weak point. But there's some points like it like literally follows you and is on you circling. And it's there was one time I fought it and it just wouldn't leave me alone. I'd be like circling and trying to jump away from it and it would just stay like right in my face. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But third time's the charm.
Yep. Come back to it or keep giving it a go and something clicks.
Yep. Beat it. Went around and started collecting the keys to go into the temple in this area. It's called the Torvis Bog. And so I eventually got to, like, you know, the dark portion of it, went through the portals, started going through the dark world, had to fight like another small boss-ish creature that had my grapple shot, and so unlocked that power up, so now I can grapple swing.
Like Bionic Commando?
Yes. Just like Bionic Commando.
Or Super Metroid. It's a good swing mechanic.
And collected the rest of the keys, went to the temple, and fought the main boss, which was like this giant multi-stage fight with this giant like larva thing and then a almost dragonfly-esque looking bug. You fight the larva. Once it dies, you know, the adult version of one pops up, and you've got to like shoot and stun it, and then like swing from platform to platform to get behind it and shoot its like the appendages that have the wings on its back.
The glowy bits. The Zelda glowy bits.
And after you do that, you get the Dark Visor upgrade, which allows you to kind of see like an infrared image almost, and like these platforms come out of the ground and you see them immediately disappear. So you use the dark visor and you can see them. It lets you see there's some space pirates and some other enemies that you've come across up to this point where they can, kind of cloak themselves and go invisible. So this will allow you to see them. Went and transferred the energy from the dark back toward the light side of this planet, and now I just have to go back through and there's one more temple I have to do, and I guess whatever else. I think I'm a little bit more than halfway through this game.
Okay.
The visors. I know I talked about it.
The visors are the shtick in this one, right? Kind of like Splinter Cell. You're switching between the different views and stuff. Or you did that in the first Metroid Prime, right?
Yeah, you did that with the first one. Yeah. This one's more of like the going back between the light world and the dark world and all that. This is only the second visor. The first visor I have is just, to scan the things, figure out their weakness or the lore.
Yeah.
And I know I talked about this with you. You said I should definitely mention it on the podcast. I came across this content creator who she does gaming journals to keep up with her gameplays and to catalog what she's played. She creates like little challenges and things for herself as well.
This is cool.
Trying to remember. Let me see. Gaming in Yellow. If anybody wants to look at her content,
it's neat stuff.
And she, prints off either the little game arts, or she has little photos, or she actually crafts and makes different artwork to put in there along with her own reviews and stuff. So I'm trying to see what that would look like for me, but that has inspired me to kind of get into that creative portion.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been creative or flexed those artistic muscles in quite a while. So I started it by making some little art in my notebook here.
Oh yeah,
for
that's awesome.
My Metroid Prime Echoes.
Awesome.
Where it's a Samus and a Dark Samus kind of facing off from each other.
Pen and ink, it looks good.
Yeah, I did a rough pencil drawing and then I did everything in ink and colored everything in. I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. Probably once I fill that out, I'll post it to like our Instagram or something.
Yeah, please do. It looks good. I mean, any progress, like rough drafts, everything. The whole creative process is awesome. It's a specific type notebook you're using too, right?
Yeah. She uses these these small little notebooks. I mean, these little field notes notebooks, and they come in like packs of 3. They're either lined or graphed, and
looks like the Grail Diary.
They're nice little notebooks, and I thought it was an interesting concept to kind of chronicle my gameplays throughout the year. So I'm gonna try really hard to maybe keep up with that. Challenge myself to keep up with that.
That's awesome.
I know we get busy a lot, so I don't know how many games will fill up that. I know at least Metroid Prime Echoes is in there, and I definitely, once Resident Evil Requiem comes out, that's going to be in there. So beyond that, hopefully the games I've challenged myself to finish by the end of the year will all get played in there as well.
That's a great way to document those, though. Are you playing Metroid Prime 2 on the CRT?
No, I have.
Curious.
What's it? I think it's called a Keiko. I want to say it's Keiko. HDMI adapter in the back of my GameCube, and so I'm playing.
Letting it do 480p. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a progressive scan game, so look
pretty good. I wonder how that will look compared to the CRT. I'd want to see the side by side.
Well, the Kaiko actually even has menu options, and you can add scan lines and things if you want to. I think the game looks actually really nice without them. But I've enabled them and looked at them like, oh, okay, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
And you can even add like add however many scan lines per it has a lot of options. So
And that's a testament
it was
to
more
that.
than I was just gonna say it's more than I wanted to mess with,
dabble with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it reflects well on that art style, that it's so forward facing, and I think that's why was it Iron Galaxy and somebody else, maybe Panic Button, worked on that Metroid Prime remaster we got for Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But it upscaled and looked so. I mean, they did the Lord's work, but it it looked and played so well, and it didn't feel like, it felt like the mind's eye. Like, this is what this looked like, right? It wasn't some sort of a remake in any capacity. It was truly a remaster, and a real well done one. But that's easier to do. It's not like, if you were to put Link to the Past on an LCD or a plasma or something, it's not going to look like you remember it without those tools that you're talking about, like scan lines and stuff. You going to do a Metroid Prime 3 Corruption after this?
It's possible. I know I want to, but I'll see how long it takes me to finish this up.
Yeah.
I may have time to pick something else up. I don't know if I'll jump straight into Prime 3 or if I'll go ahead and start trying to get one of these games I drew for myself.
The epic draw from last week. That was great.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I mean, Resident Evil comes out toward the end of February, so I got a little bit of time.
Excuse me. Do you have did you get Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Wii U? Did you get that $20 digital SKU that came with all of them?
I believe so.
I wonder if is that even still available? You can't get on there and get that anymore, right? That $20.
I mean,
there are ways.
You cannot buy it from that eShop.
There are ways.
Correct.
You cannot spend $20 with Nintendo anymore.
Right. You cannot give them money for a product you want on that eShop.
But there are ways to I wondered if you fired that up and played it with the motion controls, how that would compare to your current playthrough.
I don't know. It would probably. That is the one thing. It was getting used to the GameCube controller feel for that, considering I'd had played the original Prime remaster a couple years ago when it came out, and then just finished 4 on the Switch, and then jumping back to the GameCube, and it was like, no, okay, never mind. I see what we're doing here.
So I haven't played 4 at all. I remember 1 vividly on GameCube, and that was more of like an immersive sim control wise. Like, you weren't meant, it's not a Twitch shooter, but they allowed that sort of gameplay style with the remaster, where it felt easier to use that second stick for a lot of stuff, instead of just locking in and scanning and locking in to shoot and stuff like that. There's a bunch. Don't go down my rabbit hole. Just keep playing how you're playing, Brant. Don't do my bullshit. How does it look on a CRT? How does it look on the Wii U? How does it play with the touch control, or the whatever controls? The Wii remote controls. Yeah. Point controls.
I don't know. I remember loving me some Prime 3 back in the day.
I had left retail right before that and the Trilogy came out, because I had pre-ordered both at friend of the show Kyle's store at the time. But that's many. God, that's almost 20 years ago now. We're rolling through a lot of these 20-year anniversaries that are kind of crazy to me, that they don't feel like they should be 20 years ago. All of a sudden. More concerts, right? It's the year of the anniversary.
More concert.
Yeah. All right, is that it for you, Brant?
That's it.
All right. Neat and tidy show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.